think he's smarter than me. So I don't want to focus on it being like about Jake. Oh, Jake's small, so that makes me confident. Jake's this, so that makes me confident. I'm just focused on myself. I'm confident in myself. Jake could be 10th. I'm confident in myself. That's what I'm saying. It's not about how he is. I just...
Yeah, it's long one.
You do some pads today?
Yes, sir. Do some pads, yeah. We're going to do some pads today. And then technique and all that stuff, you know? Fight is easy. No matter how hard you train and how... You just got to get lucky. You know, so what we're training for now is just to get lucky.
As the fight approaches, both Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua have intensified their training. With only 5 days remaining until fight night, Joshua is refining his strength, conditioning, and technical skills, while Jake is concentrating on speed, timing, and accuracy. Inside his training camp, Jake's confidence is clear as he breaks down every detail, convinced that his preparation will give him the advantage when the fight begins.
The fact that it's a harder challenge for me. People had a lot of excuses against Gervonta and, oh, it's a smaller guy, blah, 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 the weight difference. And now I flip-flop the roles. Everyone thinks I'm gonna die and they don't know what I'm capable of. And so being the underdog and being able to go in there and showcase what I'm gonna do to Anthony is more exciting for me.
Anthony Joshua begins his training knowing that no opponent can be taken lightly. He treats Jake Paul as a legitimate challenge, bringing discipline and intensity to every workout. By sharpening his technique, building power, and improving endurance, AJ pushes himself to the limit. Each punch and drill is purposeful, every movement controlled. His focus is unmistakable. Nothing is left to chance. He is preparing with the dedication and respect that a serious competitor brings to any fight.
See how much work goes into them sessions. It's going to be a tough fight. No fight is easy. No matter how hard you train and how you just got to get lucky, you know. So what we're training for now is just to get lucky. Miss a punch that could have hurt, catch you with a punch that's going to hurt him. So it's kind of like when they say all in the...
As one of boxing's most unexpected matchups draws closer, Jake Paul continues to project strong self-belief. In a recent interview, he stated that he sees a knockout opportunity against Anthony Joshua, referencing moments in Joshua's past where he appeared vulnerable. Paul pointed out that AJ has been shaken by smaller opponents before, arguing that the former heavyweight champion is not unbeatable. He maintains that his power and preparation give him the tools to land decisive shots, and he believes his training has positioned him to deliver a major upset. These bold claims have only intensified interest in the fight among fans and analysts alike. Beyond the physical contest, the mental battle has become a key storyline. Paul's public confidence works to reinforce his own mindset while attempting to create doubt across the ring, while Joshua's composed and disciplined response reflects the experience of a veteran accustomed to pressure. Many observers note that the psychological struggle is just as significant as the physical matchup, adding depth and intrigue to a fight that might otherwise be viewed purely as spectacle.
Victory in his style, and styles make fights. We all know that. He's lost to guys who are shorter mostly and lighter mostly, and faster than him. I see holes in his game. I see punches that I can land that can hurt him. Now, he can definitely land punches on me, knock me out. He's more experienced, Olympic gold medalist, two-time heavyweight champion of the world. This is definitely insane. I have to fight a perfect fight to be able to beat this guy, but I think that I'm capable of that. And to me, at the end of the day, all of this is experience, all of this is fun, all of this is getting in there and continuing to improve my skills as I work toward a world championship in my own weight class. I'm fighting at heavyweight.
Oh, we lost him. They're trying to bog him down.
At the end of the day, I'm going in there and I'm getting better.
You're fighting at heavyweight. You cut off real quickly whenever you said you're fighting at heavyweight. How much weight is that more? How much heavier are you fighting at this for this particular fight?
Yes, I'm fighting like 50 pounds out of my weight class. Normally I fight at 200 and Anthony Joshua will be around 250.
Okay, so this fight's happening. There's people that have mentioned, like, there's no way this fight is actually happening, just strictly because of what you just said right there. I mean, the weight difference, everything else, signing up for this because you're supposed to fight somebody else, Tank backs out, now you fight Anthony Joshua. I think there's a lot of people that think this is all some gimmick because of what you just said right there. This is not the case. You understand that you're going in there with a man who's not supposed to fight somebody that is at your weight. He's supposed to be fighting heavier people that are bigger people, which in theory, stronger people, maybe more durable people. There's weight classes for a reason. In your mind, that is just, hey, this is a challenge I need to take on. That's kind of the mindset that you've taken?
Yeah, for sure. The fight is definitely happening first and foremost. We're 9 days away right now. But at the end of the day, I like
David Haye and Johnny Nelson have broken down the enormous stakes surrounding the Jake Paul-Anthony Joshua matchup, focusing on how differently the pressure falls on each fighter. They explain that Joshua has no margin for error, needing to take control from the opening round, land strong and accurate shots, and avoid being caught or driven backward. Any slip could harm his standing, as he carries the responsibility of protecting his reputation as a former world champion. Haye and Nelson stressed that the weight of expectation rests squarely on Joshua, whose credibility depends on delivering a clear and dominant win. Jake Paul, by comparison, steps into the fight with far less to lose, entering as the underdog. Any success he has will be viewed as remarkable. The analysts also noted that while Paul is taking a genuine risk by facing a heavyweight champion, Joshua must perform close to flawlessly to satisfy both public and professional expectations.
Anthony Joshua can't win in round 3. Anthony Joshua needs to win in the first round and win devastating. He can't be getting clipped with shots. He can't get him pushed back. He has to have the cleanest performance of his whole career.
And if it lasts that long, Jake Paul needs to be holding on to it for dear life to last that long. So Jake Paul commercially has just as much to lose and can affect his commercial elevation if he does anything less than be his best. Commercially, he doesn't need Jake Paul.
I think the pressure's on Jake Paul. The pressure's not on Anthony Joshua. Sorry, the pressure's on Anthony Joshua. The pressure is not on Jake Paul because no one's expecting Jake Paul to do anything. So he's free. Whatever happens, he's gone out there and done something extraordinary. He's put himself in harm's way, to try to achieve this crazy goal. So but Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, he's only doing it for the cash, for the money, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But he can't look bad. He can't get knocked down. He can't get a cut. He can't be missing wildly. He has to have a punch-perfect performance to justify, just like Ngannou. If he has the same performance against Ngannou,
job's done.
The job's done. But is he going to be motivated enough to be able to switch on? Because he was razor sharp. I was there at ringside with you watching that fight, and that was as sharp as I've seen AJ look.
And the other thing is, Ngannou looks scary. Jake Paul doesn't.
Yeah.
And Ngannou was thick, thick,
big
and that
man,
wide.
I
was interviewing him, so next I'm thinking, damn, you're getting in with him.
Yeah.
And you're now thinking, if this guy gets one shot, Jake Paul doesn't have any of that about him. So you're not looking at him thinking, he might get a
if you
shot.
look at Jake Paul's training footage, he puts out snippets all over his kind of social media and on YouTube. It looks like his secret weapon for the fight against AJ is his...
Both fighters are pushing themselves hard in their respective training camps, but analysts have pointed out clear differences in how they are preparing. Observers like Henry have looked closely at Jake Paul's workouts, knowing that while his heavy bag sessions look powerful and impressive, that kind of training doesn't always carry over against someone of Anthony Joshua's experience. Generating force on a bag is one thing. Dealing with a seasoned heavyweight in live competition is another. Henry has advised fans to manage their expectations, explaining that polished training clips can be misleading and that the real assessment begins once Paul is in the ring with AJ. Meanwhile, Joshua's preparation has been detailed and methodical. Despite periods away from competition, he continues to train as a dominant force, placing emphasis on stamina, accuracy, and defensive awareness. His camp reflects the importance of experience and technical refinement when preparing for a fight of this scale. The contrast between Paul's unconventional approach and Joshua's traditional heavyweight regimen adds a compelling layer to the matchup, underlining the clash of backgrounds and styles.
That he recently released. It's got a lot of people getting quite excited, in the comments in particular, saying, wow, he's improved so much. Look at the technique. He actually might cause problems. The sort of wide-eyed emoji. Is he going to cause an upset? Now, look, I don't give two shits how you look on the heavy bag. I'm going to be very honest with you. Do you know how many guys I see in the boxing gym I train in who look absolutely sensational on the heavy bag and then wouldn't last 2 seconds against Anthony Joshua? The thing that the average person fails to understand is that looking good on the heavy bag, sure, it means you have a fundamental understanding of boxing technique, and clearly Jake has improved in that area. You'd hope so after years and years of training. But the thing that people don't understand about boxing is when you actually get in the ring with someone who's trying to beat you, who's trying to punch you in the face and break you, suddenly holding that shape becomes much, much more difficult when you're getting hit by shots, when you're taking them to the guard, when you're having to move your legs constantly, and more importantly, as you get tired. Even the best pros start to lose their shape when fatigue kicks in. That's why more knockouts can happen later as the fight goes on. So look, yeah, I did think he looked nice on the heavy bag. He was moving his feet well, his balance looked good, his hand positioning was good when he was throwing, his chin was tucked in, all the things you really look for in basic technique. Does it mean he has a hope in hell of being Anthony Joshua? Absolutely not. But at the same time, I'll admit I understand what the hype is about. He looked pretty nice in that clip, but many people can, is my point. The final thing to address is this rumor that's been going around, I think it was Johnny Nelson who started it, that Don Charles has been brought into Jake Paul's training camp. There's been some news articles about it, but to be honest with you, I've not seen any photos, I've not seen any footage. I've seen absolutely nothing to indicate that Don Charles has been part of that camp. And in fact, Don Charles was tagged in a photo on Instagram a few days ago at an event he was at a boxing gym near Watford in the UK. So clearly he's not been actually involved in the camp. Will Jake Paul fly him out for fight week to try and disrupt Anthony Joshua? I mean, it's entirely possible. Obviously, Don Charles coached Daniel Dubois to the victory over Joshua. It was one of Joshua.
Former world champion Paulie Malignaggi has spoken openly about the dynamics of this matchup. While he acknowledges Jake Paul's commitment to training and sparring, Malignaggi cautions that preparation alone may not be sufficient when facing a fighter of Anthony Joshua's level. He has emphasized that Joshua remains a powerful presence with natural strength, experience, and the mental toughness to perform under pressure, qualities that should not be underestimated. His assessment reinforces the idea that, despite Paul's confidence and promotional momentum, this is far from a guaranteed win. Hearing this perspective from a seasoned boxer adds credibility, reminding fans that boxing ultimately tests preparation against reality. Under the spotlight, the excitement surrounding the fight has reached remarkable levels, attracting attention from mainstream outlets, social media platforms, and casual viewers alike. Paul's crossover appeal has broadened the event's reach, while Joshua's championship background ensures serious boxing fans are paying close attention. This blend of celebrity and elite competition has created a storyline that mixes entertainment, genuine risk, and technical skill. As fight night approaches, discussion continues to center on who will take control and whether Paul's self-belief can translate into real success against a heavyweight with a proven resume.
I wouldn't consider him shot or anything, and even a shot AJ would still, would still likely beat a Jake Paul in my eyes. But I don't necessarily see AJ as a shot fighter at all, And also, the thing about AJ is he's a rather serious guy. This is not Chavez Jr., So he takes anything he does very seriously. He's got a backbone to him. He's got a character to him. So, he's not gonna let himself be clowned by, allowing Jake to survive or allowing Jake to play around or allowing Jake to, just make him look bad in general. So that's the thing about AJ. If you know his character, I've worked a lot of AJ fights and I've been around AJ enough, to kind of observe his character. This is a very serious human being and man, and he takes this kind of stuff very personally and very seriously, so he's not going to be looking to make a mockery of himself. And so from that perspective, I don't see a guy like AJ going easy on Jake at all.
He's going in there to knock him out, and anything less, it's going to be a disappointment to him. So does he knock him out?
I mean, yeah, he knocked out Ngannou, right? And I think most people would think Ngannou is better than Jake, right? I mean, you saw what he did to Ngannou. He cut through Ngannou like it was nothing, like a hot knife through butter. So yeah, I mean, I would expect nothing less. We'll see. We'll see how they go. I mean, obviously, you give Jake some credit for having the balls to do this. But then again, Jake is also doing what we all used to say when I was my age, and Shmo, you're a little younger than me. When we were kids, and we would joke around, and Mike Tyson was the big deal. We would all say, for $1 million, I get in the ring with Mike Tyson. Well, I guess for $90 million, Jake's gonna get in the ring with AJ. So I think that's what the equivalent of it is. So is it bravery? Is it just, hey, you give me enough money, I'll do it?
The boxing world has been filled with debate about this matchup, with some insiders raising questions about both its safety and legitimacy. Promoter Eddie Hearn even joked about banning Jake Paul, a comment that captured a mix of concern and humor surrounding the event. Veteran boxing journalist Gareth A. Davies went further, labeling the fight a freak show and warning of the potential consequences for Anthony Joshua's legacy. He noted that a loss or serious injury could have a lasting impact on AJ's reputation, pointing out that while Paul's rapid rise may be entertaining, the risks are very real for a former world champion. These reactions highlight that beyond the spectacle, the bout carries genuine consequences for Joshua, increasing both attention and anticipation ahead of fight night.
You'll be there for that?
I am. I'm going out next week for 5 days.
You're looking forward to the event, and how does it sit with you as we kind of approach it?
Well, I've been hammered by Eddie Hearn and Nikisa Bidarian over my Telegraph columns on this. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I've said anything out of order or out of the ordinary, which is probably shouldn't be licensed. It's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. He's delusionally optimistic about this. Mm-hmm. He's probably too brave for his own good. Physically, I think it's a dangerous fight for him. I hope he gets hurt to the body and stopped, not knocked out horribly like Francis Ngannou was. I don't think it will be licensed in the UK. Imagine Tommy Fury, who beat him, getting licensed to fight Anthony Joshua in the UK. Couldn't see it. Spoke to Robert Smith of the boxing board, who said he wouldn't license it. And I also said that Anthony Joshua could destroy his legacy if something goes wrong, and perhaps it demeans boxing. I wrote those things in 2 Telegraph columns. Eddie Hearn said he was banning me, but thankfully I've got a credential.
It's not his show, is it?
It's not his show, it's MVP's show, and Nikisa Bidarian stuck it on me at the press conference out there a little bit. To said, why you are going against the promotion. All I said was, and I said it after the press conference, Anthony Joshua's taking this really seriously. Mm-hmm. It's a circus show. It's a freak show. We've seen this in boxing in the past. I don't see a way how Jake Paul wins, but I still need to be there. If the tree falls in the forest and you're not there to witness it, does it make a sound? So I'm looking forward to being there.
As Jake Paul steps into the fight full of self-belief, the heavier burden clearly sits with Anthony Joshua. Duke McKenzie and Johnny Nelson have both pointed out that the greater risk lies with a former heavyweight champion. Joshua is expected not only to deliver a strong performance, but also to safeguard his reputation against an opponent known for unpredictability. McKenzie emphasized the mental side of the matchup, explaining that Joshua is under intense scrutiny from both fans and the wider boxing community, where standards are especially high for a fighter of his stature. This contrast between mounting pressure and bold confidence creates a compelling dynamic, with Joshua's experience set against Paul's fearless self-assurance.
He's on AJ. 1% of 1% think Jake Paul has got a chance. And anybody else that tells you differently, they're lying. They don't really think he's going to do it. So you're going to watch this to see, most people watch this to see Jake Paul get his arse given to him. In reality, and they'll also watch it to see how AJ is, because AJ, he's done it many times before. He's dropped the ball. He's not performed to the best of his ability, and lost or got knocked out. Daniel Dubois, Andy Ruiz. I think when he boxed Usyk, you can't blame for that because Usyk was outstanding. But he can do it. So people are thinking, what? His last fight we saw him on his face against Dubois, and so the question marks above AJ's head. Right. Which AJ will turn up, and even if the wrong AJ turns up, he should still beat Jake Paul. Now, my worry is AJ going into the fight and underestimating Jake Paul. And it's hard. It's like you've boxed before, where your original opponent pulls out, they throw a standing in, and you think, and your performance is worse because you can't bring your A game to it because you think, shit, the kid's not very good. You get rid of him, but it's harder than what it should be in real life. Right. And so I think with AJ, he'll struggle to respect Jake Paul as a threat. And so they're going to be watching AJ. And if Jake Paul gets 15 seconds of success, AJ is going to get vilified. AJ's, oh my goodness. So people are saying he wants to go out there and knock him out. No, he doesn't want to go out there and knock him out. He wants to teach this boy a lesson and torture him. If you're not into boxing and you're hearing this, you think, oh my God, it sounds barbaric. He needs to torture him. We spar with people where you just hit him, dig him in the ribs, and you let him off, leave him breathe a bit, dig him again, and you make him want to go down, and you punch him back up again. He needs to torture him. Right. So he says, no mas. That's what he needs to, and that way he'll satisfy.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you next time.